Hey, what's going on, everybody on YouTube? Steve here, Rake and Profit over at rakeandprofit.com, coming back to you with another video. And today's going to be a different type of video. If you've been following me on the YouTube channel over the last 3 or 4 months, then you know that I created a goal to purchase my first real estate investment property. And specifically, what I'm looking to purchase and what I'm looking to do is I'm interested in purchasing a 2 to 4 family, multifamily residential property. I am going to live there, so it's going to be owner occupied. And I'm still on the fence right now in terms of if I'm going to go with an FHA loan, which is a low money down loan, about 5% down. There are some, cons to it, like an additional PMI, which is like $150 extra a month, or going with a conventional loan. I am more pretty much right now, I'm more, I guess I'm more persuaded based on what I've heard from other people. And I believe I'm going to go with a conventional 25% down on my property, but that's what I'm looking for. 2 to 4 family investment property. I'm going to live there. I'm going to own it. I'm going to manage it. I'm going to learn about real estate property. And the goal is to build long-term wealth with real estate. As an entrepreneur, as a self-employed person, I don't have a pension plan to look forward to. I don't have a retirement check to look forward to. Yes, I am investing in a SEP IRA, and I invest money every month into Vanguard, and there's different ways to prepare, but I believe that real estate is a great vehicle for long-term wealth generation. I'm not doing real estate for the cash flow now. I'm not doing real estate right now to make money. It's a long-term play. 15, 20 years down the road, you have a property that's paid off, and that can help you to pay for your kids' college tuition. If you want to sell the property, you can just have a couple $1,000s a month coming through in cash flow. That could be your retirement. So I've had this goal so far. The progress that I've made is I've hired my real estate agent, which means I've gotten access to the MLS to analyze properties. I have recently gotten approved for a loan. So really the only thing holding me back right now is finding a property. Unfortunately, right now in Connecticut, it's wintertime. The market is very slow. There's not a ton of multifamilies coming on the market. And just based on what my real estate agent said, things should start picking up soon. So I've been looking at properties. I looked at 2 properties yesterday, and I've been analyzing a lot of properties. And that's what we're going to be showcasing on this video. I'm actually going to share my screen with you, and we're going to go into the MLS, and we're going to take a look at some of the properties that I'm looking at. So you're going to see the houses, you're going to see the pictures. We're going to talk about the rents, what's going on with the property. And then I'm going to use a tool that I use that is part of the Bigger Pockets Pro subscription. And it's actually a calculator that will analyze all the details. So I'm going to insert all the numbers in, the purchase price, closing costs, all the fees, so on and so forth. And we're going to go through and analyze a deal. Now, I do want to say I'm not an expert. I'm still looking to purchase my first property. I've been reading a lot of books. I've been learning. I've been studying. So obviously everything that I say and I discuss, you're going to want to take with a grain of salt because I'm still going through the process. But I've been learning a lot, and I feel like I can help you to kind of get your foot in the door and learn a lot of the basics. So let's do this. If you guys are excited, do me a big favor and smash that like button down below. If you see me looking this way, I'm looking at a secondary computer with the comments. So let's shout some people out. We got Joshua Davidson in the house. What's up? Martin from Thrift Store Gold. What's happening? Nori, Heather's Place. Heather says, did I see real estate? I'm in. Yeah, so Heather, you can definitely give me some feedback on some of the things that I'm going to be talking about for sure. Joshua Davidson says 2 videos in 1 day. We might go with 3 videos because I do need to record my goals video today as well. So I might be recording all of my 2019 goals as well after this. So today's going to be a video day for sure. Hey, what's up, Zach? Reseller King. Thomas Nagel is saying go conventional. Martin says I'm looking to buy a duplex in 2019. So this video is definitely going to help you to learn how to analyze deals. Hey, the Lucid Dreamer. What's going on, girl? Great to see you here. Passion for Vintage says, my first live on your video. Finally, I didn't miss it this time around. By the way, thanks for all the lectures, tutorials, such motivation. You are welcome. Glad to have you here. Appreciate you all. So, a lot of people, Mike, what's going on? You going to be a slumlord now? I'm in. Hoping not to be a slumlord. Although I did visit a property yesterday in Manchester, Connecticut, and I live in Ellington, Connecticut. It's maybe like 25 minutes outside of Hartford, which is the capital of Connecticut. And I visited a nice. Well, it was supposed to be nice. I thought it was going to be nice. It was a property in Manchester in a nice area of town, and it was a two family. And wow, talk about a slumlord. This place was disgusting. The carpets, the floors, the sea, everything, nothing was redone in like 30 years. Everything was just very disgusting in this property. Oh, yeah. In terms of what I'm looking to buy, I'm looking for something that's a little more turnkey. I'm not interested in my first deal. I'm not interested in doing any big rehabs. I'll definitely do some cosmetic work, but I'm willing to pay a little bit more. And I'm looking for something in a little bit nicer of a neighborhood. Now, kind of how it is if you're not going to rehab a property and you're going to get something in a nice neighborhood, nice and fixed up, the odds are you're not going to be cash flowing a ton. So you're kind of playing like the appreciation game long term. And you're also playing obviously the equity pay down game as well, because your tenants, and if you live there as well, you're going to be paying down the property. So you're building up the equity. You are buying in a nice area, hoping for appreciation. Obviously, you can't predict if appreciation is going to happen or not. Over the long term, typically real estate does appreciate, but on the short term, anything could happen. And then there's obviously tax savings. And one of the benefits of me moving into a multifamily is this place I live right now. It's a townhouse. It's a really nice town, really nice area in town, and I pay $14.75 a month plus utilities and everything. So even if I move into a two family and I still have to come out of pocket $300, $400, $500, if I decide to go with a two family, I'm really looking for a 3 or a 4 because I could live for free. It's still, light years ahead of where I am now, which is I'm living in an apartment. I'm dropping $1,500 a month. It's going to, the place I live. I'm not building equity or anything. So that's kind of where I stand right now to kind of give you some context. Okay, cool. So let's jump into a screen share and let's start to analyze some deals. Okay. So let's see. We're going to dive into the MLS right now. So bear with me for one moment. Okay, cool. So we're inside the MLS. Once you hire a real estate agent, they're going to give you access to the MLS, which is essentially the database of properties that go on the market. And inside the MLS, you can get pretty much all the information you need, at least a lot of information you need about the properties that you're looking for. So your real estate agent's going to set up a search query for you. So here's my real estate agent. Big shout out to Michael. Great guy. Definitely check him out. And here's my initial search I was looking for a 3 or 4 family. And we just opened it up to 2 families as well, because I'm having a really hard time finding 3 and 4 families in my area. You can actually see where I'm looking right now. You should be able to see my screen. See, I live in Ellington. Okay. So I'm looking in Manchester, East Hartford, West Hartford, Glastonbury, New Britain, Wethersfield. I'm kind of looking in all this area right here. And this is where I grew up. I grew up in, sorry, this thing's kind of hard to zoom in. I grew up in South Windsor right here. So you have to hire a real estate agent. Once you do, or if you know somebody, you get access to the MLS. They set up a search query for you in terms of the properties that you're looking for, the price ranges, so on and so forth. I'm not an expert when it comes to this. But essentially, you will get a compilation of properties that you are looking for. So let me open up this a little bit more. Bear with me for one moment. I'm trying to get this thing to work properly. Okay. Okay, cool. So Dropship Tyler says, I bought like 400 properties in my life. Well, that's awesome. Holy crap. Good to see you, Tyler. I might have to chat with you sometime. Just looking at some of the comments. Okay, cool. So let's start to dive into some properties and analyze them. Again, I'm a beginner. I'm learning as much as possible. So Don't beat me up if, I'm not 100% on my game. I'm learning as much as I possibly can. So feel free to give constructive criticism, so on and so forth. But here's a property that's in East Hartford. This isn't the best area right here. It's a property built in 1895, a little under 2,000 square feet. And it's a two-family with updated kitchens on the second floor. Each unit has 5 rooms, 2 bedrooms, and 2 baths. Okay, cool. And here you can get all the information that you need about the property, the size, the heating type, the cooling system, the year built, if it's, public sewer or whatever it looks like this is. You can see what the taxes are, the assessed value, all this information. Also, on a lot of these multifamilies, sometimes in this unit description, they'll tell you what the tenants are paying for their rent. So if you don't know the area, you can see what they've been paying. Obviously, you want to do your research in terms of, what the properties are renting for, so on and so forth. And that's something I still have to learn about. Obviously, you go on Craigslist, you can look at, places that are for rent and get an idea of what they're renting for. But yeah, this is a two family. Each unit has 2 bedrooms and 2 baths, so on and so forth. So I want to show you kind of how to analyze this deal real quick using this calculator that I've been using. So we'll just call this a 2-family in East Hartford. I'm not going to put the address down. I mean, you could if you wanted to. It's 34 Governor Street. And this is a tool that Bigger Pockets offers if you pay like the pro membership. I think it's like $39 a month. Okay. So this is in East Hartford, so on and so forth. You don't need to fill all this out, but pretty much what we're going to do is we're going to put in all the information and it's going to spit back if it's a decent deal or not. Now, there's a lot of stuff we're going to have to do in terms of homework, obviously inspections, repairs, so on and so forth. But this is a good tool to use to just get an idea if a property is something you're looking for. So annual property taxes is important. So actually on the MLS, when you scroll down, usually it'll tell you what the taxes are. So here in Connecticut, taxes are pretty expensive. Taxes on this property right here is $4,000. I believe it's this property, $4,817. So we're going to go ahead and put that in. You can add photos, description, MLS number, all this stuff, but we're going to hit next step. Now the purchase price. The purchase price is, what is the purchase price? $129,900. Now, this is a really cheap house. I'm telling you right now, this house is, I think it's in the hood. So let's just say, we got it for $119,000. Let's just say we saved $10,000 and then it's worth $129,999. Closing costs on something like this, I'm just going to estimate it's around $10,000. That's what I've been hearing from people. It could be 5,000, could be 10. I'm not exactly sure in terms of how to calculate the closing costs. So maybe somebody in here can give me a better idea of how to do it. But I've had quite a few friends who have purchased like $150,000, $200,000, $250,000 houses, and it could range anywhere between $5,000 to $10,000 to $15,000. So I'm not exactly sure. So you put in the purchase price, the after repair price. Let's just say it's worth $130,000. I have no idea. Estimated repairs. I don't know what the repairs are. There's no pictures, unfortunately. I don't know. So I'm just going to put in $5,000. Let's just say there's some light cosmetic repairs that you need to make before you rent it out. I'm just putting in random stuff right now. Down payment, I'm going to put down 25% right now. And let's just say the loan interest rate is 5%. And I'm not going to get charged any points by lender. And that's going to be over 30 years. So I'm not going to touch any of this other stuff. And then I'm not going to touch the cap rate and I'm going to hit next. Okay. So now you have to put in your total gross monthly rent. So a 2-bedroom, two bath in this area is probably about $1,000 a month. It might be $900, it might be $1,100, but I'm just going to put $1,000 a month. So for 2 units, even though I'm going to be living in 1 unit, you always want to run the numbers I've learned based on if you're not living there, because I plan on only living in this place for maybe a year or 2 and then moving out and then probably getting another one. So let's just say $1,000 each, you're in at $2,000 for gross monthly rent. And then other monthly rent, that can include if you have laundry, storage, anything else like that. I'm not going to put anything in there. A lot of times at these properties, sometimes you can include electricity in the bill or you can have them pay it. I'm going to set things up like based on, just for this example, I'm going to just say they pay electricity. So I'm not going to put anything there. Maybe it's like, I don't know, $50 because of the outdoor lights and stuff. Maybe water and sewer is included because I believe it's public. So I believe that's built into the taxes. PMI, this is if if you put less than 20% down, then you're going to get hit with a PMI, which is about, I don't know, 100 or 200 a month. I'm going to go conventional. So I'm going to leave that blank. Let's just say garbage is included. It might not be. It could be 50 a month. Let's just put 25 for fun. And then monthly insurance for a property like this, I'm guessing is probably around $150 a month. To be honest with you, I don't really have any idea, but from what I've heard after talking to people, it could be, 100, 200, $250 a month. So I'm not entirely sure what monthly insurance is, but you guys feel free to give me an idea. And then other monthly expenses. Don't forget when you're, if you buy a multifamily, you're either going to have to do everything yourself or you're going to hire people like cutting the lawn, removing the snow in Connecticut, other things like that. So I'm going to put another $100 a month, maybe for snow removal, for cutting the lawn, so on and so forth. So far we've filled out the income. We've started to fill out some of the basic landlord paid expenses. Again, this could be more or less in this area just based upon your area. And then this is important. This is a big mistake that I've been seeing a lot of people make just based on my research is a lot of people they'll buy a property and I don't know, their overall mortgage with taxes and insurance might come to $1,100 and then they're renting it out for $1,500 and then they say, "Oh, I'm cash flowing $400." Well, you're not really, because over the long haul, you're going to have vacancy. So people are going to come and go. And sometimes you're going to have vacant units. You're going to have obviously repairs and maintenance. Things are going to break on a regular basis, little tiny things. Then you're going to have capital expenditures, which are big things. You might need to replace the siding or a roof or windows. These are big expenses, a furnace. I don't know. There's all types of big expenses. So based on how new or old the house is and based on when things have been last repaired or fixed, these are all going to differ. And then there's management fees if you're going to hire a property manager. So vacancy rates anywhere between 5 to 10%. I'm going to put 7% vacancy. I've talked to quite a few people in my area and their vacancy is usually less than 5, but I'm just going to put 7. Repairs and maintenance anywhere between 5 and 15%. It's going to depend on your area. I'm going to put 5%. Capital expenditures, again, it's going to depend upon how new or old the home is, when's the last time the roof has been done, so on and so forth. I'm going to put 5 in this example. And then management fees, I'm going to put 0 for now because I'm going to be managing it. This is something that I'm going to have to think about because I'm a busy guy. I have a lot of businesses, and I know down the road, if I have 3, 4, 5 properties, I'm probably going to want to hire a management company, a property management company. I know in my area, they start at about 10%. Per month plus a rents month for when they for turnovers and things. So that could be 11% per month right there, which can add another $220 a month in fees. So I'm going to leave that blank for now. And then you've got to take into consideration annual income growth. I don't know what this is right here, but I just remember after watching their seminar, they just put 2 for everything right here. Actually, sales expense for when you sell it, let's just say 5%. These are just future assumptions to help you project the investment into the future, cash flow, equity, all that stuff. I don't know what all these things mean right there, but I watched the video and I'm just going to put that in there. So if you calculate the results, this is the interesting part right here. So based on the price of this property right here, if let's just say it needed 5,000 in repairs, 10,000 in closing costs, your mortgage, all that good stuff right here with a monthly income of 2,000, you'd be cash flowing about $450 a month if you had this property fully rented out, which isn't bad at all. It's a 12% cash on cash ROI, 9.34% cap rate, $44,975 needed to actually buy this property. So it's a pretty cool tool right here. They also have something that's called the 2% rule and different things if you're part of the Bigger Pockets community. And you could see over time your investment, so on and so forth. But I don't really know this property that well. I don't know this area. So let's go into another one, do some more research. All right, let's go back. Okay, cool. So pretty much what I've been doing is just analyzing properties and just learning as much as I can. So let's start a new report. Let's see what other properties they have on the market right now. See what some of the comments are saying. Steven says, always wondered how all this stuff was factored into making money, charging rent. Like, how do you factor in someone needing a new stove? Steve knows so much about different business areas. I don't know a ton about real estate. I'm just learning as much as possible, but that's why, there's certain percentages you want to build into your monthly expenses, such as a percentage for maintenance and repairs, a percentage for vacancy, a percentage for capital expenditures, which are the big repairs, and then obviously a property manager. So you want to take all that into consideration: your mortgage, your insurance, your taxes, your small repairs, your big repairs, your vacancy, your property management. And that's how you essentially analyze a deal. But you then obviously have to visit the property and you have to make sure that everything's accurate. Are the taxes going to actually be that much? What are the repairs? What are the rents? There's so much that goes into it. I'm still at the beginning stages of like learning how to do all this stuff, but let's take a look at some more properties. Here's another 2-family in East Hartford. Just want to see what's on the market right now. These are a bunch of 2 families. I want to see what towns that they have them in. Well, this looks kind of nice right here. Okay. Let's take a look at this property right here. So this is a town called Enfield, Connecticut right here. It's a 2-family property. Enfield's a pretty decent town, but there are some crummy areas of Enfield. I don't know Enfield very well, but let's just take a look at the pictures. Looks like there's a garage. I see the driveway. Driveway might be beat up a little bit. Wow, I don't get it. Like, why some agents do such a poor job with pictures. They only put 6 pictures in. Heather, what do you think about agents that only put, like, some of these properties I'm looking at? It's like the agents are so lazy. They like leave out all the information, or like they don't take a lot of pictures. Maybe because the tenants are inside and they can't get in. I'm not sure. I want to analyze a deal that we can really get a good idea of like different things. Okay, this was actually a property that looked kind of interesting the other day, but I haven't had a chance to analyze it. So let's go ahead and analyze this deal together. Okay, so this is a 2-family property in Manchester. I actually used to work in Manchester, Connecticut. Let's take a look at this because I might send this over to my agent to take a look at. Okay, built in 1920, 1,300 square feet. So this is small. This is going to be a small little place right here. 2 families, built in 1920. So it looks like there's thermo windows throughout, including the basement windows. Second floor has new ductwork and furnace and hot water heater, completely remodeled windows, separate 100 amp circuit breaker panel boxes. Okay. There is new concrete steps for the entrance. Okay. All right. So it looks like there's vinyl siding. Water and sewer is public water. Property tax is $37.72. Natural gas, which is good. All right. Okay. So this is interesting. So here, remember I was telling you sometimes they include the rent of the tenant. So it looks like this is a 2-bedroom, 1 bath, and it's renting for $850, which seems really cheap for Manchester. Usually Manchester, unless it's extremely small, and it might be because I believe the total house is 1,300 square feet. So it might be, maybe it's a little under rent. I think maybe they could get $1,000 rent in this area. I know this area pretty well. So it looks like so a lot of times I've noticed agents, they like to list a property with at least 1 unit vacant. So if it is an owner occupied, or if someone goes FHA, they could obviously move in quickly. So, okay, interesting. Just taking a look at the property, has an attic. Okay, and includes the electric range, refrigerator, washer, dryer. So they're both 2 bedrooms, 1 bath. 850 is what it's renting for now. I don't know how long the tenant's been there. I've noticed a lot of landlords, they'll have tenants that have been there for years and they've never raised the rent. So a lot of times the rents are under market value. So that's something definitely to look into. Okay, cool. So let's start running some numbers on this property right now. Let's look at some pictures first. You guys want to look at some pictures? So Heather says less pictures is more sometimes. Awesome. Heather says I listed a house recently through uh something similar and I didn't list all the pictures because it was rough inside. Heather says agents are very lazy. Biz Hack says for a rental, I would stick with a 1-level ranch with an open basement. I can chat with you on why. Okay, so let's go ahead and analyze some. Let's go analyze this deal. Okay, so wait, we got to look at the pictures first. What am I doing? All right, let's take a look at the pictures. So it looks like they have this little open, closed off hallway, which is cool. So the kitchen, I mean, it looks pretty plain. It doesn't look, I mean, super sexy. Oh, I like the nice wood floors. Those are beautiful. Those are really nice. Looks like we got a closet. Bathroom looks like it's been updated. I believe, yeah, they mentioned that both bathrooms are remodeled, which is nice. Okay, so what are we looking at here? So we have the first and second floor. I believe those are water heaters, right? I'm still learning about the anatomy of a property. So I believe that's the furnace, the Goodman. Isn't that a furnace? And then those are the 2 water heaters for the different floors. Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, that definitely looks like a furnace. I'm so bad when it comes to this stuff, guys. That's why I was like, please take everything I say with a grain of salt. I'm just learning and analyzing and trying to connect with you guys as much as I can. Okay. Looks like it's linoleum floors or some type of tile. Okay, so a lot of times, like what I'll do before I even waste too much time, like going through all the pictures and stuff, is I'll just run the numbers just to see if it's even something potentially a good deal. So let's just call this Manchester 2-family. I'm not going to fill all this stuff out right now, but taxes. How much are taxes? 3,772. Again, you're going to want to double check. I don't know how to do it, but I think you have to go to the town or something and check if there's going to be like a reassessment because I know that could change up what the taxes are going to be. Purchase price. How much is this for sale for? 165. Let's just say I don't know, saved a little money at 155. Let's just say after repairs is 165. I'm going to put 10,000 in for closing costs. I need to figure out how to determine closing costs. I don't know how to determine closing costs, but I'm just going based on what I've heard from others. Let's just say it needs $5,000 to get it rent ready, maybe painting the walls, changing some carpets, some basic cosmetics. Again, I could be dead wrong. You've got to go in, obviously, look at the properties. Down payment, I'm going to put 25% down because I'm going to go with conventional. Let's estimate a 5% interest rate right now over 30 years. And let's go to the next step. So gross monthly rent, again, when you're analyzing a deal, you want to analyze it in terms of if you're not living there. If you are living there, then you could run the numbers however you want. I'm still going to be living there, but I want to run it from an investment standpoint. So a 2-bed, 1-bath, it's 850 right now. I'm going to estimate that it's a little under because I visited a property yesterday that was renting for 950 and it was a complete disaster. So I'm going to go ahead and estimate that I can get, I don't know, let's just say 950 each. So let's say 1900 gross rent for both units. Okay. And this is a decent part of town. It's not a bad part of town. So I'm probably being a little too conservative right there. But I'm going to just keep it at that. Other monthly income, nothing. I don't have any storage or anything. Electricity, let's just say, I don't know, 25 bucks a month for the hallways and stuff. I could be dead wrong with that. Let's say that water and sewer is included and garbage is included in Manchester. I'm putting 25% down, so I have no PMI, which is private mortgage insurance. If you put down less than 20%, I believe. I don't have any HOA fees. Let's say monthly insurance is 150 bucks. I need to learn how to determine that. I guess once I find a property, then I would have to talk to a insurance agent to figure that out. But I'm just estimating based on what I've heard, 150. Then other monthly expenses, snow removal, cutting the lawn. Let's just say an average of 100. Let's say 125 bucks a month in expenses, because I don't want to be cutting the lawns. I don't want to be shoveling the snow. So I'm going to pay somebody to do that. And then I am going to use a vacancy rate of 7%. I'm going to use a repairs and maintenance percent of 5. So I'm going to say every month I'm going to probably have on average $95 in repairs over the long haul. Depending on the property, the area, you could go up to 15%, but I wouldn't go any less than 5%. Capital expenditures, again, it's going to depend upon the specific property. Is the furnace old? The water heater, is it old? Does the roof, is it going to need to get done next year? If so, your capital expenditures can be up to 10, 12%. I'm going to put it in at 5, and I'm going to leave the management fees out. This might change in the future, just depending upon what I decide to do, but I'm going to be managing it for the time being. And then annual growth, 2%, PV growth, 2%. Annual expenses are probably going to grow 2% per year. And then when I go to sell it down the road, obviously there's real estate fees and stuff. So I'm going to just put 5% in there. And let's calculate the results to see what this property is looking like in terms of a deal. So if I purchase this for $155 and I put $10,000 down towards purchase closing costs, $5,000 down towards repairs, $38,750 towards the down payment. Taking into consideration a 5% vacancy fee, 5% repairs and maintenance, 5% capital expenditures, no property management fees. Considering the rents of $1,900 per month, it looks like this would be cash flowing around $338.61 based on these numbers. Now, cash needed to get into a deal such as this with conventional financing, 25% down, is looking at around $53,000, almost $54,000. And, I'd be able to control this asset. I would be cash flowing a little bit based on, just based on these light projections right here. With this calculator, I like it a lot over at Bigger Pockets. It's the Bigger Pockets buy and hold analysis calculator. Again, you are going to have to have a pro account for it. That's up to you if you want to get it or not. I'm not affiliated with them whatsoever. Just doing my thing, analyzing deals. But this is cool to kind of get an idea of what you're looking at. It breaks everything down. So per month, I'd be paying I'd be putting $133 towards vacancy, which is like maybe one month's rent, maybe a little more, 1.5 months. I can't even talk. 1.5 months rent if a unit is vacant for that long. $95 per month towards capital expenditures, replacing big expensive things over the years. Insurance, property taxes, miscellaneous, PMI, electricity repairs, all that stuff. So it's kind of cool. And then it breaks everything down, which is very interesting. So this doesn't look like a bad deal. This is actually something I'm probably going to send over to my real estate agent. I would love to know what your guys' thoughts on this property right here. I mean, it looks decent. It looks pretty nice. So I'm probably going to send this over to my agent and see. Let's switch something up in a calculator really quick. So if I was living in this property, I want to see how much it would be costing me. How do I go back? Okay. So what I'm going to do, if I was living in this property, I wouldn't be bringing in what the heck is happening here? Oh, I wouldn't be bringing in $1,900. I would be bringing in, let's just say I rented it for $1,000. So I would only have $1,000 coming in. So, okay. So it would cost me about $408 per month, considering all my expenses to live. So that's not bad. Even in that scenario, I don't know how many of you guys are renting like I am and putting out 10, 1,000, 11, 12, 14, 1,500 a month. But here's an opportunity for me, if the numbers work, to be able to live in a place for, $408 a month. And, some of the benefits, obviously tax write-offs, only living for $400 a month, right? Instead of $1,500 a month. My tenant is paying towards the rent, which is paying down the mortgage and the interest, right? So I'm building equity. And of course, if you buy in a nice neighborhood, you could, over the long haul, historically speaking, your investment could appreciate. Now, obviously, you don't want to speculate, but those are some of the benefits. Those are some of my thought process right there. Heather's Place says, talk to your bank about money, not a realtor. Just my opinion. I don't know jack about math, but I refer to a bank. I'm no genius. Heather says, so many ways to make money on real estate, even just referrals. BizHack says, I like that home. So let me know what your guys' thoughts are on this. I feel like I'm being like really boring right now. I'm surprised that there's 53 people watching right now. So if you like this video where I just go ahead and analyze and look at a property, like I'm still learning as much as I can. So there's like part of me that's like, I don't know if I should be doing this. And another part of me is like, I'm just documenting, kind of like Gary Vaynerchuk always says, just document. I'm just documenting this and sharing and learning and getting your guys' feedback. So let me know if you like this style of video or not. Hit the like button. If you don't like it, don't hit the like button. Just give me some feedback. You could if you want. But let's go ahead and analyze another deal. Best Comp says it's really entertaining to me. Really? I'm like, I feel like I'm being so boring right now. But this is, I feel like to achieve your goals, a lot of times it is boring. Like, this is what I would be doing if I wasn't on YouTube Live right now. I would just be analyzing deals. So let's go ahead and analyze another deal. So now you can see, right? Like some of the things that you want to look for is you obviously want to look at what the house is selling for. You need to know what the rents are. You need to know what the taxes are. You need to take into consideration various expenses, repairs. So you're going to have to inspect the property, and that's only half the side of the coin. There's like so much more that I haven't even covered that I don't even know about yet. But let's go ahead and analyze another deal. Let's see what else is on the market right now. Let's clear this search. Okay, cool. I don't know how to start this over. Okay, cool. There we go. Start a new report. So, all right, let's keep looking around and seeing what other properties are available. I'm going to start from the beginning because I haven't seen some of these newer properties since we just updated our search. So let's take a look at this property. So this is a $200,000 property in East Hartford. East Hartford isn't the best town, but there are some nice areas of East Hartford, and then there's some ghetto, right? I don't know if that's the right word to say, but there's some less desirable areas of East Hartford. It's on the outskirts of the city. So here's a property. It's a two-family built in 1900, 6 beds total, 2,500 square feet, 2 units. Okay. This two-family side-by-side is undeniably certainly a turnkey. The seller has taken care of the big-ticket items. New roof. Oh, that's good. Updated replacement windows. That's nice. Newer siding, newer gas furnaces, new electrical upgrade with an owner's panel. I was trying to say manual. Owner's panel. No need to worry about the driveway as it has plenty of youth left. The newer garage and garage door are another bonus. Each unit offers a washer hookup. The second floor could support a larger family due to additional bonus rooms. With interior access to the basement, a fenced in rear yard, an enclosed front porch, and a true motivated seller. Why miss out? Travel time has been minimized from this location. Yeah, they're right next to the highways near the city. Minutes from downtown Hartford, the mall. And then it says property sold as is. Okay, so that's interesting. I like that there's a lot of newer capital expenditures, right? There's a lot of newer things that cost a lot of money to repair. So that's good news right there. It's $200,000. Another thing I liked is they said one of the units is bigger, could support a family. I've noticed in my area, the 3 bedrooms really command a much higher rental rate versus the 2 bedrooms and especially the 1 bedrooms. So I like what I hear so far. Natural gas, that's good. Vinyl siding, public sewer. Okay. Okay, so I like this a lot. So holy crap, one of these units are absolutely gigantic. So they're both 3-bedroom, 1 baths. That's a very good sign. You see, I've only been looking at 3 families and 4 families, but after talking to my agent, I would consider a 2 family if they were both 3 bedrooms because they do command a higher price, especially in the nicer areas. So that's interesting right there. They don't put, I wish they would have put the rental rate. I wish I knew how much this property was renting for. Um, yeah, this is kind of in the ghetto right here, somewhat. So I'm gonna just estimate that rent is maybe 1,200 a month. Okay, so I'm gonna say that each unit is gonna go for 1,200. I could be dead wrong. Let's take a look at the pictures to see what this unit even looks like. Okay, so they've got the nice wood floors. A lot of this stuff I don't even know what I'm looking at. I know I need to really get educated on the inner workings and mechanical pieces of a property. So I believe that's a water heater. I think I know that, and it looks like it's newer from 2016. So those are that's the electrical box. Okay, so it doesn't show a ton, but let's go ahead and run the numbers again. I don't know. I have a funny feeling that this house needs a lot of cosmetic repairs. It's just a feeling that I have. I could be dead wrong. Passion says you should do a live video too when you're actually at the home sighting. That would be great. That sounds cool. Best comps. I would definitely look into the rental property calculator. I believe they give you like 3 or 4 free searches. So definitely just follow this video and put in the numbers. You know, you're going to have to estimate the taxes and a couple things. You're probably not going to know all the numbers, but do your best to just type in the numbers and see what spits back at you. Okay. So, all right, let's start to run some of these numbers. So this is a 2-family East Hartford. Annual property taxes. Let's see what the taxes are on this. Taxes are really expensive in Connecticut. 5,334. Okay, we're gonna hit next. Purchase price is 200,000. I'm gonna go ahead and say, you know what? I'm gonna negotiate. They said they're motivated. I'm gonna say I'm gonna get a 10% discount on this property at 179. Say after repair is 200. Say closing cost is 12,000. Let's say, because I have a funny feeling that this house needs some repairs, I'm going to go ahead and say it needs $8,000 in repairs. Know that there's a lot of major pieces that they've already fixed, windows, roof, but I just have a feeling that this property needs some work. I don't know. I'm just going to throw that down just for fun. Down payment, I'm going to probably use a conventional just to avoid that PMI and all the strict guidelines that FHA does require. I'm going to just go with the down payment for now. Down the road, I could always refinance out some of my equity, if there is any. 5% loan interest rate. We're not going to change any of this in terms of loan fees and points. This is going to be over 30 years. And you don't really have to mess with the cap rate unless you're doing like units over 4 commercial properties. So I'm going to say that each one of these units rents for 1,200, considering that they're both 3 bedrooms. I could be wrong. It could be down towards 1,000 or 1,050, or might even be 1,250. But for the time being, this video is about how to analyze properties. You're going to have to do more due diligence, researching, the local market and what rents are going for. And then other income, if you have a storage unit or laundry that you charge for. But for the time being, I'm going to say no. Electricity, I'm going to just put a little for the hallways and stuff, but I'm going to have my tenants pay it. Water and sewer, garbage are going to be included with the town. No PMI since I'm putting a conventional 25% down. Monthly insurance, let's just say it's 200 bucks a month. Again, I'm just throwing out random numbers based on my research. And then other expenses are obviously going to include, you know, mowing the lawn, snow removal, landscaping. So we'll say $125 a month on average that will cost. And then we're gonna have vacancy rates. I'm gonna put 8% since I'm in an area where there might be more turnover. Again, this is taking in about $192 a month added to my expenses, added to my analyze to my to what I'm analyzing. I mean, I might save this money, I might not. I'm being conservative. I feel like people get into investments with real estate. Just I've seen friends do it. And just based on what I've been reading, and people, they don't put any money down for vacancy or repairs or capital expenditures. And then when shit hits the fan, they're like, crap, real estate doesn't work. Well, no, you didn't take into consideration that things are probably going to go wrong. Murphy's Law, what is it? If something can go wrong, it will go wrong, something along those lines. And I already know, even though I don't have real estate experience, I do, I have ears and I hear the horror stories that go along with landlording and things that go wrong. So you want to take into consideration these numbers. You want to have these numbers built into the deal. You don't want to buy a property where everything has to go right because you're just gambling. You might as well go to the casino. I'm going to put repairs a little higher since I'm in this specific area that makes me a little nervous. And I'm going to keep the capital expenditures at 5 since a lot of the bigger items have been, repaired or replaced recently, such as the roof and the windows. And management fees, I'm not going to put anything down. If you did want to put some management fees down, there you go. It's not cheap, at least in my area. So I'm going to just put in the annual growth, annual expenses over time, and then obviously the cost of selling the property down the road. And let's calculate this deal. So looks like this property does have some potential for cash flow. If you had this thing fully rented out, cash on cash return 7%. So it's not the best cash on cash return, considering that you're going to have to put down $64,000 to get into a property like this. But again, for somebody who has money sitting around, someone who's looking for an investment, this might be a good deal for you, right? I'm not entirely sure yet. I'm still analyzing deals. I'm still researching. I'm still trying to figure out what a good deal is. Okay. But in my area, I've heard a lot of investors say, cash flowing at least $200 per door or per unit is a solid place to be. So again, this thing might be cash flowing $50 a month because you might need $18,000 in repairs and rent might only be $1,000. So, and what's interesting as well, if you edit this report, watch how the numbers change if you go with an FHA loan. They change in good and bad ways. So if I decided to go with an FHA loan, I would only put down 5%. But by only putting down 5%, now I'm going to have an additional fee, which is going to be something called PMI. PMI is short for private mortgage insurance, a monthly fee often added to bank loans when the down payment supplied is less than 20%. PMI rates differ depending on the specific bank, your credit, and other factors, but typically fall between 45 and 65. I don't know why it's so low over here. It's much more. I've heard it's around $150 on these properties. So now watch how the numbers change. And when you go with an FHA loan, there's also some stricter guidelines that I've heard in terms of like if you've got paint chipping, if you don't have railings up, if you have different like they're going to make sure you do all these different repairs and stuff. So now with an FHA loan, I only have to come out of my pocket $28,000 instead of $64,000. But now look, my cash flow is down to $38.63 because the loan is bigger, right? And I have that additional $150 a month in PMI. So now the cash flow is really down. My cash on cash return is extremely low. My cash flow is extremely low. But some of the pros are I was able to gain access to control an asset for only $28,000 down versus 64. So sometimes I've heard people, they purchase properties and they're essentially speculating based on appreciation. Maybe it's an amazing neighborhood. Maybe there's, I don't know, maybe there's a big business that's moving in and they predict that prices are going to go up. So it really just depends on your strategy. I'm not here to tell you what to do because I'm still trying to figure that out on my own. But it's just interesting to kind of play around with the numbers to see how things change up and stuff. So Alex says always put management fees when analyzing because there's going to come a time when you don't want to manage it. And you want to know what, Alex? You're so right. And it's like I've been kind of keeping it out because I've noticed like in my area, anytime I put a management fee in, the deal it's just gone because it just takes up so much in fees. So like if I go here, like watch this. In my area, it's going to be at least probably 10% of the monthly rent plus a turnover fee. So if your rent is $950 and then it goes vacant and then they find somebody, they're going to want $950. I've heard. So on average, 11%. So now when I put management fees in, now let's calculate this with an FHA loan. Boom, you're losing $225 a month. Okay. You're losing $225 a month. So now you're upside down in terms of cash flow. It's costing you money to own this property. Now, obviously there's some tax benefits. If this property is appreciating rapidly, then it might be worth it for you. And, obviously the tenants are paying down the equity, paying down the mortgage. So you're building equity over the long haul. So this still might be a good deal for you, but this isn't really the type of deal I'm looking for. I'm really looking for something that has potential to be cash flowing at least a couple $100s per door. I would love to be able to have a solid vacancy expense, have a solid management fee in there for down the road. Obviously, capital expenditures and repairs, having those expenses in there as well. I really want to find a property that meets that criteria. But so far I haven't been able to find anything that fits that criteria. So I'm not in any rush to buy. And Heather says, if you're in no rush to buy, you seem smart at it and the numbers, it can take 6 months to get a real estate license. I only paid $60 a month to work at an office. The thing is right now, I'm just so busy and I have so many businesses going on and I understand my queen bee role. I understand what I'm good at. I understand what drives my business forward. I've learned that my weakness is the shiny object syndrome. And by me going ahead and going to get my real estate license, it's going to take away from my passion, my purpose, and my queen bee role in my businesses with my YouTube channel and with my e-commerce businesses. So at this point, it's not really smart decision on my part to go ahead and get a real estate license. I'd rather leverage other people to do that and learn as much as I can on the side. But maybe in the future for sure. Passion for Vintage says Heather, and he tells us he's learning as he goes, but he sounds like a professional. I'm definitely not a professional. I could promise you that right now. If I was your real estate agent, I would destroy your deal. Oh man. So that's all we got right now, pretty much. I'm going to take the camera, put it back on my face. Man, I got the hat backwards and everything now, man. I just got deep into that. So hopefully that video kind of brought to light how to analyze a deal from the outside. Obviously, all those numbers are just numbers until you verify everything. You've got to verify the taxes. You've got to verify the rents. You've got to verify the repairs, right? There's so many things you have to verify. You have to go look through the property. Do you like the area? So on and so forth. You've got to verify the interest rates. You've got to verify the insurance. You've got to verify electricity and garbage. Is it included? Water, sewer, or rents in that area typically including electricity, or is that coming out of your pocket? So many things. But hopefully this video was able to bring to light some of the beginner tips and kind of how to get started with analyzing deals and looking at properties. If you guys enjoyed that, be sure to hit that like button, show some love. Heather, I appreciate you helping out in the comments. Thank you so much. The Lucid Dreamer says nothing black and white about it. Storm Walton says, look in the South. It's way better. But I live in Connecticut, so this is where I live. So Storm says in Atlanta, it's easy. Where'd my mouse go? In Atlanta, it's easy, but if you really want to make simple residual income, go into low income areas and buy a few and rent out the rooms separately. I did that and made good cash flow. I think it really just depends on your strategy. I'm looking for something that's a little more turnkey. I'd rather pay up for something in a good neighborhood, deal with a, how do I say this without offending anybody? I guess I want to deal with the type of tenants who aren't dealing with drugs and a lot of violence. I don't want to go into the violent areas and the if you go to the lower income areas, if you go to the areas where there's a lot more crime and violence, you can cash flow like crazy on these properties. But you're dealing with more drama, more issues, more turnover, people destroying properties, drugs, violence. I don't really want to deal with any of that stuff. Obviously, I'm sure it comes with the territory, whether you're low, medium, or high income. But I know when you go to certain war zones, you're obviously not going to appreciate your properties over time as much because they're war zones. You're really playing the cash flow game. And I'm not really interested in the cash flow game. I know the cash flow is important, but I'm interested in acquiring an asset that helps me to build long-term wealth with as little work as possible. I don't know if that makes any sense. Storm says, I got you, bro. Just don't go deep into the hood. All right. I won't go too deep. Oh, cool. I didn't know the Lucid Dreamer was a real estate agent. That's awesome. Awesome, guys. Well, I'm going to get rolling. I'm going to work on my goals report video now. So I want to thank you all for watching. Hopefully this video was able to add some value to you. If you have any questions, feel free to drop a comment down below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks so much and take care.